my friends, welcome back to another musical moment in the life of the old-time rock and roller. Today we will be focusing a few minutes on a story from the golden age of rock and roll. Are you ready? Okay, let's get started. I started playing guitar professionally on New Year's Eve 1965. My band played a lot of songs by the Kinks and the Yardbirds and Cream and anybody that had a great guitar player. So Eric Clapton and Jeff Beck and Jimmy Page were all heavily on my radar. And when I learned that the Yardbirds were going to be playing at Brown University's spring weekend in April of 1968, myself and several of my bandmates from the Oxbow incidents showed up at the gig. We were really lucky when the tour bus pulled up and the road manager Richard jumped out. We introduced ourselves right away and gave him a laydown of the situation. It looked like rain, and the concert promoters said, "Let's move over to Meehan Auditorium, an indoor venue, the skating ring." It wasn't set up for the concert at all, but we drove the bus over and they let us be on the bus with them to navigate and show them how to get there. Well, we got there and they were surmising the situation, and the promoter said, "Nah, let's go back to the original outdoor stage." So we rode back. Roadies were setting up their Fender dual showman at the time. Jimmy McCarty, the drummer, was really a friendly guy. Keith Relf was really nice. And Jimmy Page was a hoot. I couldn't believe I got to meet that guy. So we're backstage, well, in one of the dressing rooms at the college, really. And they were sitting around waiting to go on. There was an I magazine, and they picked it up. This was a big popular rock and roll magazine for the time. And there were pictures of Eric Clapton and Cream playing. And they were looking at some of the faces that Eric was making, and they were laughing and joking about it. They went out and they started up with Train Kept a Rollin'. And that got the crowd going. And they ended the set with Dazed and Confused, which was nothing as heavy as the Zeppelin version. The Zeppelin version was to the moon and back. This version was like a demo of what it was gonna be. But we enjoyed it nevertheless. So while the band was packing up, the roadies, we sat on the tour bus and we were talking and complimenting them on their set. And Dave Brooks, our drummer, mentioned that we were doing a TV show in New Bedford the next day. And I think Jimmy McCarty said, "Oh, what are you playing?" And we said, "Well, we're playing a couple of your songs, Mr. You're a Better Man Than I and Heart Full of Soul." So they got a kick out of that, but they had to be moving on because they were on the last 9 weeks of their American tour before Jimmy would go back and put a new group together and call it Led Zeppelin. That was the first major guitar hero I got to meet, because when I met Jimi Hendrix, he was still an unknown. Although he had worked with Little Richard and the Isley Brothers and Curtis Knight, Jimmy was an established star. And we saw him and Jeff Beck in the Fellini movie Blow Up. So we were really psyched for this show, and I was so pumped to meet one of the greatest rock guitar players of all time. And that, my friends, is the story. So I'll see you next time on the next musical moment with moi, the old-time rock and roller. Thanks for coming along. Take care.